Okay, the first thing you do. The first thing you do. Okay, the first thing you do when you're factoring, quiet, when you're factoring a polynomial is factor out any common terms. First thing you do, factor out any common terms. So that's step one. Okay, step two, you have to decide what type of polynomial you have. In other words, do you have two terms, a binomial, example, yes. Example, x squared minus 4. Okay, that's a binomial. I have two terms. Or, do you have a trinomial? Example, three terms. Oh, let's say x squared plus 2x plus 1. That's a trinomial. Okay? Now, if you have a binomial, check to see if it's a difference of squares. My example happens to be a difference of squares. In other words, a squared minus b squared. My example, I have x squared minus 4. Think of that 4 as 2 squared. Okay? So my a, which is the base of the first term, my base is x. My b is the second term. The base of the second term is 2. Not 4, 2. So in this example, I would have x plus 2 and x minus 2. You're having a quiz on this tomorrow. We spent, what, 3 days on this? No. Yeah, so I don't see a problem with that. Huh? What do you mean? What squares? Well, remember what factors are, right? Remember what factors are. There are two numbers being multiplied to get the product. I multiply two factors together to get the product. Now, this x squared minus 2 squared is the product. If I multiply these two together, these two factors together, I get the product. That's what a multiplication problem is. Remember I was doing that example of like 2 times 3 equals 6. Well, 2 is a factor times another factor, 3. That's going to equal my product. This is my product. And each one of these is a factor. So I could always check myself. I could multiply this factor to this factor. Does it equal my product? How do I multiply a binomial times a binomial? I can always check to see if I factored something right. Because I can multiply these two together, it better be my product. How do I multiply a binomial times a binomial? FOIL, right? First, outer, inner, and last. Huh? Okay, my first, x times x is x squared. My outer, x times negative 2 is negative 2x. My inner, positive 2 times x is positive 2x. When I combine negative 2x and positive 2x, they go to 0. And then my last, so I have no middle term, my last 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. That's what I get. You should, and I say this every year to my students, you should never get a factoring problem wrong because you can always check it. Pardon me? Yeah. Factoring. Now, if you have a trinomial, x squared plus 2x plus 1, you just have to, you have to do that, kind of have to do it in your head, the guess and check thing. Yeah. I don't have a I don't have a choice for the x squared. It has to be x times x, right? I don't really have a choice for the 1. It has to be 1 times 1. Yeah, be plus and plus to get x squared plus 2x plus 1.